Okay, so welcome back to another episode. So today I'm back on the beach, and I apologize in advance for the audio issues. I didn't realize that I was having these audio issues until I got home and reviewed the video. Pretty much in a nutshell, I was talking about the gear that I'll be using. Got my trusty old Shimano Clarus 7.3 medium heavy. And then I got my 13 Fishing Concept A series fishing reel paired with 12-pound monofilament Izorline. And I wanted to show you what I'll be rigging up. So I have here a 3/8 ounce owner round type jig head. I'll be using this with a Swimbait, a Keitech Swimbait. I'll show you that in a bit. So here is the 4-inch Keitech Easy Shiner I'll be using. Again, it is the 4-inch in the French Pearl color. I'll be pairing this on my 3/8 ounce jig head. Okay, so I'm gonna thread this Swimbait on and try to make it look as naturally as possible. Try to keep that body straight as it's going through the shaft of that hook. If you see, yeah, it looks pretty good here, pretty natural. That way it gets the best swimming action and entices the fish as best as possible. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and tie a standard fisherman's knot. By no means is it the best knot. I'll show you, I'd say arguably the best knot in a bit, but this is the fisherman's knot. Literally just run the line through the eye of the hook, wrap the line around itself about 5 to 7 times, and run it back through the loop that you made near the eye. Lubricate, cinch it down, and there you go. Next, I wanted to show you my other setup. I have another 7.3 medium heavy 13 fishing blackout fishing rod paired with a 13 fishing Creed 3000 size with 30-pound braided line, and I generally use 12-pound monofilament leader line. That way we can give it some stretch. I tied the monofilament to the braid using a blood knot. For this setup, I'll be rigging up dropshot. I have right here the 3/0 EWG hook Gamakatsu, and this is the hook I'll be using for my lure. I'm gonna go ahead and open this fresh pack of hooks because I started running out of them. Throw them in my little tackle box, and I'll take one and rig it up for drop shot. So I will be rigging this up with the Palomar knot, arguably one of the more stronger knots, one of my favorite knots, and it's just been proven to be very effective. So the way that I tie it is I run the line through the eye from the top, and then run it back through from the bottom, and then go ahead and just start grabbing that end and tying it around each other, run it through the loop, and then run the hook back through that loop that you just created. And then lubricate and cinch down that tag end. Once it's cinched down nice and snug, you can see that the hook is just kind of dangling there at its side. The bottom side there is where I'm going to tie the sinker, of course, but one trick to try to make the hook stay up as best as possible is you run the line right through the top again. That way you keep the hook facing up, because one mistake is people will forget the step and then the hook is just facing down and you end up missing a lot of hook sets. So by running the line through the eye again from the top, this will allow the hook to face up and improve your chances of getting a nice hook set. Next, I'll go ahead and tie my 1-ounce sinker. I prefer using 1 ounce, that way I can cast it really far out there and let it get to the bottom as quickly as possible, because some areas I'm working it fairly deep, about 30 feet of water, but this will ensure that your lure is on the bottom at all times and you're just bouncing that lure up and down on the bottom there, attracting those fish, because generally speaking, halibut love staying on the bottom, and that's the target species. And then I'm just going to tie this using a standard fisherman's knot again, nothing fancy. And finally, I'm going to go ahead and put on my lure. I'll be using the Zoom Super Fluke in the white ice color. These Zooms Super Flukes are 4 inches long, and I'd say is a perfect size for the bait that they're feeding on in this area that I'm going to be fishing. So I'll go ahead and thread it on, and the way you thread it on is you poke the tip of the hook about 1/4 inch in, thread it through, and then turn the lure a full 180 degrees. This is to make it weedless. And what I like to do is use my thumb to measure where I'll be poking that lure in to try to make the lure look as natural as possible. So as you see, I marked it there with my thumb. That's where I'll be poking it in. And I'll go ahead and poke it in, run it all the way through the top or the back of that lure there, and then I'll go ahead and tuck that hook tip into the plastic a little bit to make it as weedless as possible to prevent the lure from catching any grass or any seaweed that it comes across. It's been pretty freaking slow today. Only got a couple of hits here and there. But I'm gonna switch it over to Swimbait. Use this little Keitech Swimbait. Just work along this bank here and see what happens. Oh, there's a fish. Was not expecting that. Cute little bass. Right there, that's a little barred sand bass. Oh, I'm so sorry. In the water he goes. So I just make a cast, let it sink all the way down to the bottom, and then just slowly retrieve it. I try to bounce it here and there, give it a couple more different type of action to try to entice the fish. So I'll do some rapid reels, do some bounces, just in case there's any fish that is trailing the lure, give it to kind of react a little bit more. Sometimes I also like to open my spool, let it sink a little bit further, make sure that I'm constantly on the bottom, twitch it up here and there. Let's give it that action. So I just cast it kind of parallel with the bank. Sometimes these fish are hugged up against the bank. Sometimes they're way out there, you never know. Sometimes these fish just feed off of instinct, not necessarily on hunger. I'm gonna let it sink down, hit the bottom there. Oh, wow. Was not expecting that. Another little guy. Another little barred sand bass. Catching all the dinks in the world today. This one honestly looks like the same one. I just want to show you guys the size of the swimbait I'm using and the fish that I'm catching. Oh, my line's also a little frayed, so I need to re-rig after this. So here's the swimbait that I'm using. Here's a fish that I just caught. This fish tried eating this swimbait that's half of its size. Yeah, pretty cool. And then if you look, my line's a little frayed right there. I'm gonna go ahead and re-rig because you don't want to risk that chance that you catch a monster and it just peels and just ends up snapping your line. So let me re-rig real quick and we'll get back in business. Oh, I just almost died right there. There's a fish right there. That's the weirdest bite ever. Another little barred. Here we are. By no means a giant. All right. Bit on the drop, whatever it is. Did I lose it? Wow. Something out there bit it on the drop. All I saw was my line twitch. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, something really small. Did I get one? I did. Today is Dink City, guys. He was so tiny that I couldn't even tell that I caught him. Like, are you kidding me? Look at that. They're almost the same size. Literally almost the same size. Bye, you little bugger. I think I'm about done here. Now to wrap it up, gents, ladies and gents. Slow day for me.